We're back now to talk about the 2-year-olds. We got a lot of 2-year-olds coming back in. A lot of 2-year-olds are here. We even have some 2-year-olds in jail. But we got a lot of 2-year-olds. So let's talk about them. Adrenaline Rush will be coming back in next week after Christmas. We'll go scoop up Rush. Barbie's Crown ready to go, has been ready to go, continues to be ready to go, and is locked up in the Shed Row 5 penitentiary. So we can make light of it. I am not trying to joke about it. It's a serious thing. Very frustrating. Not serious in the sense that these horses are ill. Everyone is sharp as a tack and feeling great in Shed Row 5. Unfortunately, until we get this issue resolved with this bacteria, then Shed Row 5 is on lockdown and Barbie's Crown is in there. Better's Hope will be coming back with Adrenaline Rush after Christmas time. Blue Monk, we're still waiting. We'll get him castrated this week. After the way he raced his first start, I wasn't in a big hurry to get him back in to go right away anyway. So Blue Monk will be castrated. I believe he'll be heading to Jason's barn after that. We'll get all this solidified, where the racehorses are going and whatnot, in the coming days and weeks. But, well, not weeks, in the coming days and week. And then go from there. Blue Monk, I believe, will be heading to Jason's barn. He'll be castrated. We'll probably do some work on his knees again and get him back at it. Braemar looks awesome. Still loving to put some more weight on too. He's starting to, he's better to work around now. He doesn't have that little loose cannon, loose wire look in his eyes all the time. He understands his job. He knows he's good at it, and he knows he's there to do it, but he jogs quiet now. Last year, he was a little bit of a handful, and I gotta call a spade a spade. Johnny McKinnon and James McDonald did a great job keeping him quiet all year, and then when it was come time to push the elevator and move to the top floor, I played a pretty good role in that too. So Braemar was great racing, but to get him there, that foundation that was put into him by James and Johnny was pretty impressive. So Braemar looks good. All systems go for 2021. Brilliant Corners is back in now. Now here's a horse that's been a lunatic his whole life. He made it to the races in the most unlikely way and fashion I may have ever witnessed in my life. But he made it. And he did pretty good. And he looks great. Saw him on the track the other day. He's quiet. I took a lot of flack from Teresa, who's a very good caretaker of ours. She loves Brilliant Corners. Took care of him his whole life. And I took him away and sent him down to Harry's barn, away from Teresa. And she was upset with me. But as I said to Teresa, I'm left tasked with making some very big decisions and some very little decisions. But sometimes the little decisions I make big impacts on people's lives. And some of these caretakers, as you can imagine, fall in love with these horses, and we've got to move them around and make changes. It hurts sometimes. And for Teresa out there, it certainly wasn't my intention to hurt anyone's feelings, but at the same time, as I said to Teresa, I need her focused on our babies. The 3-year-olds are done now, right? They're young racehorses. They're going to be polished up and ready to go for the 2021 season. I need our best caretakers to be focused on our 2021 crop, our class of 2021. And Teresa, I think and I hope, understood that. But ultimately, Brilliant Corners down with Harry. He looks great on the track. Very happy. He's quiet. Somehow he went from complete lunacy and uncontrollability to, this isn't so bad, to, this is really fun. I think I'm just going to chill out. It's the weirdest thing and the rarest thing you see in this racing industry. Not very often you can see that happened. It did with Brilliant Corners. Broadway Roll is pretty well ready to go. Kevin trained her in 2.5 the other day. He'll probably qualify her in 2.1 or something next week. Can't qualify because qualifying day is Christmas. So I guess hopefully if they stay racing, we can qualify Broadway Roll. I suspect they'll add a Monday or a Tuesday in on the 29th or something, I hope. And we'll get Broadway Roll qualified. Cambridge Star, I made a little break yesterday, but come on. I know what Travis was doing. I don't blame him. I've done it a million times. You leave out of there, he feels great, and you're like, I need just an inch to clear. Tap him on the tail, and he's on the run. That happens. These are the risks you have to take as a driver sometimes. I appreciate him taking the risk. I would have done the same thing. Horse made a break. He'll be back at it next week. Can't Muscle Me looks exactly how I hoped she looked. Harry has done a tremendous job with her. She looks like $1 million. She will be either training, I guess she could train Wednesday again at Mohawk and then come back. If they allow you to train at Mohawk, there's a races potentially going on at Mohawk now. I have a sneaky suspicion they may cancel training. she's ready. I trained her in 2-4 last week. She's ready to go soon. Captain's Maid is training down now. I think Captain's Maid, in this transition with Kevin and Harry and Jason, this filly may actually move to Kevin's for a few weeks and then come back to Harry. I know that's probably not what Harry would like, but at the same time, I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have in front of me also, and move these chess pieces, so to speak, around the board properly. So Captain's Maid, again though, this is a filly probably race a little bit in Toronto and then go back to the Meadows, I suspect. So we'll see what happens with Captain's Maid. She'll be likely going to Kevin's next week. Cut the Line was Indigo Wednesday. Unfortunately, I think you can figure out what's about to happen. She will not be racing on Wednesday. She is also part of Shedrow 5, and I truly apologize. But as I said, we did all we can. We continue to do all we can, but we are tasked with making sure that the rest of the industry, most definitely, and our farm stay safe. So Cut the Line will not be able to race on Wednesday. Eternity Road, not great information from the veterinarian the other day. He just can't seem to hold that leg together. It is so disheartening to see this take place. But Eternity Road, I just keep saying it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Part of me is kicking myself inside now for not just pushing forward and racing him last year, rolling the dice. I did what I thought was right, and I think the same thing anybody else would do, and it just turned out to be a nightmare. So Eternity Road, long way to go for this guy. First Glance is back in now. He's jogging well. He will return to Mario's barn, but has not and will not until they get the okay from the veterinarian to start moving horses in and out of there. So for now, he's in the top barn with his old caretaker. Deb Tonkin is taking care of First Glance, but once they get the green light from the vet, he'll be going back down. Now, we moved Mario's barn from Shedrow 1 to Danny's old barn of Shedrow 5. That's where they've been operating out of, and thank God they have, because this had taken place in the top barn. Oh, nightmare. So, First Glance, jogging good, doing his work well. Little bully in the face sometimes. He used to be like that anyway. He'll be joining Mario's barn in, I would suspect, the new year. Fox Valley Britska the other day. I got stretched over to the quarter and he got a little tired on the end of it. It's not the end of the world, but he showed me a lot of intelligence that I wasn't even I was optimistic, but he even went beyond what I thought he would do. Very impressed with Fox Valley Britska. Needs to put some muscle on, needs to put some weight on, and that may mean that we race him every 7 or 10 days, feed him as much as we can in between. He needs 150 pounds, at least 100, and turn that into muscle over the next 6, 7, 8 months. It'll take time, but he's intelligent now. His head seems to be screwed on straight. Just impressed with the transformation from this colt, and I like what I see. Furley Fringes now green lighting from the vet. She didn't have the same type of thing with Shedrow 5. She had some sort of a virus where her temperature kept spiking. The veterinarian asked us not to jog her for a week, put her on a different kind of antibiotics, and lo and behold, she looked great. No temperatures, no spikes in her temperature, no coughing, no mucus, no discharge, no nothing. She looks good. Full speed ahead now with her. Girls with Swirls is ready to go also. She had moved since Jason had a ton of Ohio horses come back. She moved down to Harry's barn, so Harry will be qualifying her in a week or so, I think. Maybe 2 weeks. Gray as the New Red is coming back today. On Saturday, she'll be coming back. She was actually turned out in Pennsylvania. The people that bred Tipsy and Dixie and Taiwan on had a farm, and when I visited them, I struck up a relationship with them. They are the breeders of Miss Mildred, who is here now. And I don't think I talked about Miss Mildred in the yearling video. And if I didn't, I apologize. Maybe I don't have her in there. Yearlings. Yeah, she's there. Oh, darn it. I skipped over a number of horses. Poop. So, where were we at here? Let's not get this screwed up. Gray as a New Red is coming back from the Schaefer Farms today to Ontario. I suspect she may join Kevin's barn, maybe potentially in the new year. We'll see how that shakes out. GW Chrome, another horse with Jason now, but as we make these transformations, some of these horses will go to Kevin to train down. GW Chrome may be one of those. Holy Chick, not only is she on lockdown, she's the reason we're on the lockdown. She trained great on Thursday, and I mean great, looked like $1 million, and tested positive. For those of you, I've been hesitant to say what they tested positive for because it sounds bad. Strangles. That's what they tested positive for. The bacteria that is behind that. There is no sickness present that we can see. There's no clinical signs that there's any strangles bacteria there. So it runs its course, much like a sickness, but it's very contagious. So we had to quarantine her. She's at a turnout farm by herself for the next 10 days. That's not true. There's a goat and a cow there. Don't worry about it. Where are we at? Aglaire AM looks great. She looks really, really, really good. Very happy with Aglaire AM and how she's come back. As I said to Teresa, who takes care of her, I said, man, I'm really excited. There's some horses I'm paying close attention to, but really excited about the 2021 season for Aglaire AM. I'm a Lovely Lady, another one we're watching close. She looks great on the track. I saw her. She looks really, really good. Put some weight on and looks awesome. I'm Hill on Wheels. He'll be switching barns to Kevin's next week, I would assume. That leg bothers him a little bit too. We'll see how he comes up. He may make a trip to the veterinarian to double check that area, but it looks like it's coming back okay. You can never just tell, so we'll see in the coming weeks with him. Italian Grit is with Kevin right now. We'll likely switch to Harry or Jason's barn over the next few days. He's almost ready to go. Kevin trained him in 2.7 or 2.9, 2.7 I think the other day. Said he trained really, really well, so he's a couple of weeks away. Jazzy Judy is turned out in Delaware. She's going to be turned out for a while. Same thing's going to be said about her for a while. Turned out in Delaware, back soon. Jesse Balboa, can't ask her much more than this guy. Finished second in 2-1. If you'd have asked me in July, hey, Jesse Balboa is going to be second in 2-1, his second lifetime start in London in December, I'd be like, yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Are you sure? And he was second and raced great. Bright future for Jesse, really turning into a nice horse. Keystone Raven about 3 weeks away, so I don't think anything in Shadow 5 will really impact her negatively getting back to the track. So she's about 3 weeks away, I'm told, and will remain that way. Let's Roll On made a little break on Jason training today. I told him, I said, he's a big boy now. His stifles are a little weak. You're going to have to start galloping him. So I think over the next month we're going to run and run and run and run and run. Let's Roll On. The reason I picked that galloping, that running, it really strengthens him up behind, and I think that's what this guy needs. So Let's Roll On is going to do some running over the next month. Miss Meringue is back training. She'll probably switch to Kevin's barn also. She looked great on the track the other day. I think she's going to be a nice filly to race for us in the 2021 season. Again, hoping she really comes forward speed-wise, intelligence. She put it all together at the end of the year. Just turned into a nice filly. Mama Knows Best looks good also. The next two, Mama Knows Best and My Jazz, both look great. Of all the horses we turned out and brought back, My Jazz actually looks big. She looks much bigger. I really like what I see from her. So both Mama Knows Best and My Jazz look good. No Free Lunch looks good also. He's back now. Shorter rest for him. As I said to Harry, he's not going to make the Olympics sitting on the couch. He had 5 weeks off, back in, get back to jogging. Certainly not going to bother this guy any. We'll probably jog him for a while. He's not going to be ready till end of February probably. But no Free Lunch. See what kind of season he can throw together in 2021. This is a horse, just sticking with him for a second, that we may forego July with this year. I'm telling everybody right now, if there's any of those issues as far as allergies, mucus, sickness that we've seen historically over the last 5 years in the month of July, those horses are just going to be shut down. Leave them alone. I don't want to keep going down that road, and I won't. So this year, if we see those allergy issues pop up with No Free Lunch again, you likely won't see them in the month of July on the racetrack in a charted mile. In fact, I would say you most definitely will not. Northern Blizzard will come back the end of next week also. Very excited to see what this guy looks like. Timmy tells me he looks huge. I saw him through the bars in his stall there the other day when we were dropping off some horses. He does look good. Can't wait to see how he looks first part of the year. Off-Road Hanover in the penitentiary, shut down in Shed Row 5. He's ready to go. He'll be back racing very, very soon. Perfect Record is back jogging now. Looks good. We'll see what he turns into. I'd love to see another Jesse Balboa story with this guy. That would be uplifting. Rose Run Why Not comes back today from Schaefer Farms. I'm told both these fillies put on weight and look good. Can't wait to see her. Both of them. Set the Mood was good. A little pinchy after his first start. I'm not really concerned with it. It's not something I didn't see coming. Probably just needs a couple of weeks. We'll ease him into his racing career. And see what he turns into. He's got to improve from his last start, and that's a necessity. But we'll see how that takes place over the next few weeks. Cyrus Blue Chip will be coming back, as I said, first part of the year with Adrenaline Rush and Better's Hope. That is next week. And in next week, So Admirable's been in 220. She continues her descent to the races and looks good. Very happy with her. Stacy Hanover, I didn't see her last week, but I saw her the week before. I thought she looked fine. Harry said she'd been in 25, I think. Which is pretty much where I thought she'd be. Sweet Ambitions. Now, Harry loves, for those of you out there, pay attention, especially Big Fred. He loves Sweet Ambitions, and Harry said she is trotting great. Okay. What does he say? I'll be in Missouri on this one. Show me state. Steep plan. So Sweet Ambitions. Apparently looks great. Tanzanite Tricks should come back this week. She should actually come back last week. We'll bring her in this week and get her started back up. That's my girl. She won't come back till mid-January. Want to give her lots of time. We'll get her back in. Tipsy and Dixie's back in now jogging. She looks like she's grown up, put some weight on. I like what I see there. Walk on the Moon will come in second week in January. We'll bring him back in. Warwee was up. Just got to get him to the vet, get that leg scan. Man, George and Kevin did a great job with his leg. It looks fantastic. Can't wait to see him. I suspect he'll get green lit from the vet right away when she looks at him under ultrasound. We'll see. Probably get him up and get him looked at this week. Then Well and Down, One My Heart Hanover. Two very different cases. Well and Down is back now. Start jogging. She may be a horse that transitions over to Kevin's to train down. And One My Heart Hanover on lockdown. She's locked down in Shed Row 5. Picked for first or second tonight at Flamborough. That will not be happening. So, some great news, some good news, some bad news. But that is horse racing. We take it as it comes. You all know what I know now. That is your list of 2-year-olds.